Hello everybody, Suzanne from Dawning Visions Hypnosis. Today I have a question regarding whether or not one is better to get into delivering mental health therapy if one has more life's experience. Because I got into mental health when I was around 33 years old, and I was working in programs where there were people who were a decade younger than me, mainly those who had just completed college. They wanted to see if this was something they wanted to do for the rest of their life before investing in a master's program, which is a smart thing to do. It became really evident to me that these kids had no idea how to help the people in the programs in which we were working. When one is in their 20s, their prefrontal cortex isn't even fully developed until they're 25 or 26 years old. We know this. In some cases, we had counselors in there who were drinking a lot. They're talking to some of the clients in the programs about their heavy drinking. And I know this because the clients came to me and complained about it. In other cases, they like to wear their sexy clothes. At this time, leggings were in. And I had one particular client who told me that he found it really confusing to have them dressed in that way when he knew that they weren't sexually interested in him, but yet they were sexualizing themselves. And I did bring this up in one of the meetings, and I was shouted down by the people who I was working with, including the director of the program, who was, I don't know, in her mid-20s or something. We need to have a sense of who we are. We need to have some life experience in which to draw from in order to truly help these people. They have enough problems without immaturity and lack of life experience to confuse them even further, as far as I'm concerned. So it is my belief from my experiences way back in the early 90s when I first began in the world of mental health in 1993 to be exact, that it would really be better for people to get into this business when they have a better sense of who they are, when they can set better boundaries with other people, because it's not about being friends with people, it's about setting boundaries and teaching them what they need to learn, even if they find it somewhat daunting. There's many times when my clients are basically told that they have to do what I'm telling them to do, and if they don't do it, they're not meeting with me until they do it, because that's one lever that I have to make sure they get it done. Now, some people might find that to be a bit harsh. But my clients actually respect me because I hold them accountable to take the steps they need to take in order to move on to the next step in their program. There are conversations that need to be had. There are doctor's appointments that need to be done to get information. And without those things being done, I can't help them. So why have an appointment if I can't help them? They need to do the work they need to do. And they do it. I know you might find that astounding, but it's true. So it takes maturity to be able to not worry about someone getting angry with you, especially a client. I tell my clients before I hire them that they will most likely get angry with me at some point, because I will tell them things that they may not agree with. I might misunderstand them, or I might just be telling them things that they need to hear that they don't want to hear, or ask them to do things that they don't want to do that they need to do anyway. And if they're not willing to do that, well, go find yourself somebody else, because I'm not your person, and that's fine. It's all part of the screening process. It also takes time for us to deal with our own issues. I got into hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming at 40 years of age. I started working in mental health at the age of 33, and I did a really good job in the mental health because I was chemically stabilized with lithium at that time. I was in school for nursing at that time, and I was happily married. Life was good. until the marriage started falling apart. And it wasn't so good. And that's when I got help for myself through my neurolinguistic programming trainers, Tad and Adriana James. And they kicked me in the butt, told me what I needed to do. I did it, and no longer are these issues in my life. None of them. The ex moved on. It was healthier for both of us in the long run. He's married again, and I'm traveling the world doing what I want to do. So I do believe that we need to grow into becoming really good therapist. I don't really like the term therapist. I call my work, I do interventions, mental health interventions with my clients, even though we certainly do use some therapeutic processes. But in our case, it's hypnosis and linguistic programming and a lot of metaphor, a form of hypnosis anyway, along with teaching them skills. I hope that this gave you something to think about, especially if you have younger people who are asking you about going into the world of mental health as a profession. I offer a 2-day VIP program for people to learn how to integrate hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming into their practices with a 12-month mentorship. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I will leave my contact information down below, and we can have a video call to see if that's something that you'd like to pursue. I can tell you quite honestly that the only reason I'm as good as I am at doing the work that I do is because I was calling Hawaii, where my trainers were at the time, every week to find out exactly how to apply what I had learned in the trainings with my clients in real time. And I can also tell you my trainees that I've had love the program for that very reason. Well, that's all I have for you at this time. As always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Till next time. Bye-bye, all.